So this is what Panini does. They do things different, better than anybody. Maybe if somebody wants to open theirs up, and then I could look and see what it looks like.
I think Todd should have to open his up because
I want to keep mine in mint condition.
I don't know.
I mean,
So here's something wild that just happened. An $85 trading card set just completely vanished from Target shelves in a matter of hours. We're talking about pre-orders that literally broke Panini's website because too many people were trying to get their hands on this thing. And all of this chaos, it's happening because Caitlin Clark's name is attached to the product.
no, it's meant to be opened, looked at, but I'm going to keep mine wrapped.
This is December. She hasn't stepped on a court in months. The season's been over. But when Dan Patrick cracked open one of these collections on live TV, his gut reaction was immediate. Don't even think about opening it. Keep that thing sealed because it's going to be valuable. That response right there shows you exactly where we stand with the Clark phenomenon even during the dead months.
So this is it right here. So he goes on to talk.
Practice safe card collecting.
That's smart.
All right.
Smart.
Okay.
Wait, how much time is left?
What are your thoughts on her form here at the, you might as well critique it while we're doing it.
This Doug Gottlieb's the one that said that she needs to.
It's not
change.
great. It's not great.
That is an awesome form.
Now here's where this gets really interesting. The WNBA is sitting in the middle of what could be a massive labor dispute. Players are pushing hard for better compensation and threatening to boycott the entire 2025 season if they don't get what they're asking for. But what story is cutting through all that noise and landing on mainstream sports shows? Not the collective bargaining drama. Not the revenue-sharing fights. It's a card collection for one single player that's generating more excitement than entire team discussions.
Introduced to 2025 Caitlin Clark, 100 card set including 50 Caitlin Clark WNBA and 10 Caitlin Clark lifestyles, featuring 4 cards per pack, 8 packs per unit, for a total of 32 cards. Looking for the exclusive green halo and green laser parallels. Look for autographs and the ultra rare color blast. Insert one exclusive keepsake highlighting the career of Caitlin Clark. They definitely own their job with getting Caitlin Clark pretty much back in the headlines, bruh. So this is it here, y'all. This is it. This is the cover here. That's hard. 32 trading cards, autographs. My thing is, how many of these will be available? Like, is it a limited supply of these? Like how they going about this? I don't know. It's just very interesting.
There's a moment where someone's getting ready for what looks like a pie-in-the-face situation, but let me tell you what Panini actually packed into this release.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy, John the Liquidator, coming back with another video, and it looked like Caitlin Clark has broken the internet yet again. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Indy. Let's get it. Let's go. Man, I hope everybody's having a great holiday week. Man, I know I've been away the last couple of days, man, getting ready for the holidays. I kind of chill out around this time of the year. Those of you guys who kind of been following the channel for a while know around the holidays, I like to spend time with family and just kind of taking it a little easy, man. But we got to talk about this. So Caitlin Clark has broken the internet.
Look at what they decided to include here. 32 total cards in the set. 4 cards per pack. 8 packs per box. 50 cards showing Clark in her fever jersey. 10 lifestyle shots, capturing her away from basketball. Autographed versions with these incredibly rare color blast inserts that collectors go crazy for. They even threw in her Time magazine cover, the one that basically crowned her the face of women's basketball before she'd played a single professional minute.
And that is this drop right here. So it says 2025 Panini Caitlin Clark Chronicle keepsake pre-orders. So this is something that is coming out. So Dan Patrick actually spoke about this and kind of broke it all down what this Panini thing is. And he's pretty much saying that people should buy it and not open it. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get this or not, but I just thought this was pretty darn interesting. So this is what took place on Dan Patrick's show about an hour ago.
This isn't how you typically handle a second-year player's card release. This is how you package someone like LeBron or Curry, someone with established superstar credentials and crossover appeal that reaches beyond their sport And the market reaction? Exactly what Panini was betting on. That $85 price tag didn't scare anybody away. The limited quantities created this urgent buying frenzy. Now you've got collectors who couldn't tell you the difference between a screen and a pick scrambling to lock down sealed boxes because they can smell investment potential from miles away.
Fingers down.
Yeah, when
Gotta put it in there.
when Doug said that her form
Yeah, not great.
needs to change her shot.
It's never going to work at the next level.
All I know is that shot's going in.
That's right.
Yep. So shout out to Dan Practice for giving us a breakdown of this Caitlin Clark collection that has been released by Panini. So this is what is in the inside of there. It says pre-order Panini Caitlin Clark Chronicle. So as you guys can see here, it says 32 trading cards. Wow. It's Caitlin Clark in Indiana Fever All-Star Game. I believe her Time Magazine stuff is in there. Sold out at Target. Said it's sold out at Target. So this is $82.
Sophie Cunningham just said what about half the league thinks, but won't admit out loud. She's not the face of the league. And when someone asks who would be instead, Sabrina gets mentioned, and Cunningham shoots that down too. Then she goes even further, saying anyone who tries to argue the WNBA would be in its current position without Caitlin Clark is, quote, dumb as shit. Those are her actual words.
This is Sophie Cunningham speaking on Caitlin Clark. Let's roll it.
And it literally like pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
Sabrina? No.
No, there's really good, well-known people in our league. I'm not discrediting them. Like, we have a lot of badasses in our league.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah to that. I'm all for that. But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league,
Yeah.
or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb as shit.
Yeah.
You're literally dumb as fuck. And it literally like pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the
So
league.
that's Sophie Cunningham, man. Speaking about Caitlin Clark being the face of the league. Want to know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section right now. Happy holidays to everybody. Try to put out some content later today and throughout the week. Probably chill out as we get closer to Christmas, though, y'all. So might just go down to maybe 1 or 2 videos a day, if that, when it get close to Christmas. But I just want to thank you guys for one hell of a year here on the channel. I was kind of in a funk, I ain't gonna lie, because we didn't hit 100K this year. I'm not buying subscribers or views. That's not my cup of tea. But I just wanted to really hit 100K. It really bothered me that we didn't. But we gonna roll on, man. We gonna add a bunch of new stuff to the channel in 2026, and we just gonna keep the WNBA train rolling, man. But I want to know y'all thoughts down in the comment section right now. Keep them bells on.
This is coming from someone who went head-to-head against Clark. Someone who lost to the Fever in the playoffs. Someone who has every possible reason to minimize her impact. This debate has been tearing WNBA fans apart since last. On one side, you've got people pointing to television numbers, stadium attendance, merchandise movement, and social media metrics. Every single measurement of fan engagement shows massive jumps that connect directly to Clark's presence. The Fever pulled in 1.2 million viewers per nationally televised game this season. The next closest team was Vegas at 620,000. That's not a small gap. That's nearly double the audience. But on the flip side, you've got longtime supporters who've been riding with this league for decades. People who watched Diana Taurasi dominate, who celebrated Candace Parker's championships, who appreciated the league before it became fashionable. They see all this Clark hype as disrespectful to the players who laid the groundwork she's building on. And honestly, they're not wrong about that history mattering. But Sophie Cunningham isn't talking about the past. She's talking about right now, today, in December. The timing of this Panini drop wasn't random. Caitlin Clark has basically disappeared from public view for weeks. She's not showing up at Iowa games. She's not doing interviews or media appearances. According to sources, she's probably back in Indianapolis working on her game, staying completely out of the spotlight while the holidays play out and letting these labor negotiations happen without her name dominating every single headline. That's actually smart politics, because there's been talk that Clark might be pulling strings in these strike discussions behind the scenes. She's got more leverage than any other player in the league right now. If she came out publicly supporting a season boycott, it would put incredible pressure on the owners. If she broke ranks and said she's playing no matter what, It would completely undermine what the listen is trying to accomplish. So, she stayed quiet, which is probably exactly what her representation told her to do. But Panini doesn't care about labor drama. They care about market demand. And they just proved that Caitlin Clark can move serious product in December during the WNBA's dead period, while she's not even visible to the public. That's the kind of star power that exists completely separate from the sport itself. Doug Gottlieb made some comment about her shooting mechanics not being great. Dan Patrick's crew immediately jumped on that. Look at the form captured on this card. 2 fingers down, perfect follow-through, and the obvious comeback that the shot's clearly going in, which is really the only argument that matters. This is the same pattern we've seen with Clark criticism all along. Someone with credentials questions some technical aspect of her game. Her college release was too low. Her shooting form made her vulnerable against taller defenders. She'd get overwhelmed by WNBA physicality. She couldn't run an offense against professional defenses. Every single one of those predictions turned out wrong. She finished runner-up in MVP voting as a rookie. She shattered the single-season assist record. She took a Fever team that went 13-27 the year before and dragged them into the playoffs. So when Panini puts her shooting form on premium cardboard, they're not worried about Doug Gottlieb's technical breakdown. They're betting on results. And the results show that whatever mechanical issues might exist in her shot, they don't matter when she's draining step-back threes from 30 feet and finishing the season at 34% from deep on serious volume. Here's what this card collection actually represents. It's Panini betting that Caitlin Clark's market value will grow over time, not shrink. That 5 years from now, a sealed 2025 Chronicle box will be worth way more than $85 because her legend will have expanded. That's a bet they're not making on other WNBA stars, even the ones with championship rings and MVP hardware. A'ja Wilson took back-to-back MVPs in 2023 and 2024. She led Vegas to consecutive championships. By almost every statistical measure, she's the best player in the WNBA right now. But Panini isn't releasing a 100-card A'ja Wilson collection with premium packaging and lifestyle photography. They're not betting that collectors will treat her cards as investment-grade assets. Breanna Stewart signed the richest contract in league history when she joined New York. She's a 2-time champion, 2-time finals MVP, 2-time league MVP. The resume is incredible. But her cards aren't selling out at Target. Her name isn't generating the same search volume. Her social media engagement doesn't compare. Sabrina Ionescu gets mentioned in these conversations too. She's got the New York market behind her, the Nike endorsement deal, that 3-point contest win over Steph Curry. She's incredibly talented and marketable, but when Panini had to pick which player to build a premium collection around, they went with Clark. That decision was driven by data, not feelings. The content creator mentioned being frustrated about not hitting 100,000 subscribers yet. He's not buying views or subscribers, which means his growth is completely organic, driven entirely by people actively choosing to watch WNBA content. And the reason his channel grew at all this year is because Caitlin Clark gave him something to discuss that casual sports fans actually cared about. That's the reality for WNBA content creators right now. The algorithm rewards Clark content because viewers click on it, watch it completely, and engage in the comments. Videos about other players don't perform the same way. It's not some conspiracy. It's not media bias. It's audience behavior reflecting genuine interest levels. This creates a tricky situation for the league. On one hand, you want to capitalize on the star power that's driving unprecedented attention. On the other hand, you don't want the entire league's identity revolving around one player, especially when that player is white in a league that's 70% black. That tension is real and it's not disappearing. Sophie Cunningham's point is that denying reality doesn't help anyone. Pretending that Caitlin Clark isn't the primary engine of the WNBA's current mainstream relevance doesn't make other players more famous. It just makes the conversation dishonest. And dishonest conversations don't lead to productive solutions. The question isn't whether Clark is the face of the league. This Panini collection release answers that definitively. The question is what the league does with that reality. Do they build a sustainable model that uses her star power to elevate other players? Do they create storylines and rivalries that give fans reasons to care about games she's not in? Do they develop marketing strategies that acknowledge her unique appeal while showcasing the talent depth across the entire league? Because here's what happens if they don't solve this puzzle. Caitlin Clark will eventually retire. Maybe that's 10 years from now, maybe 15. And if the WNBA hasn't built a fan base that cares about the league beyond one individual player, all this momentum vanishes. Television ratings drop back to previous levels. Attendance numbers decline. Merchandise sales crater. The next generation of players inherits a league that had its moment but couldn't sustain it. Those are the stakes of this entire conversation. It's not about whether Sophie Cunningham is right that Clark is the face of the league. She obviously is. The Panini collection proves it. The sold-out Target inventory proves it. Dan Patrick, dedicating Showtime to trading cards, proves it. What matters now is whether WNBA leadership, the players' union, team owners, and the media covering the league can have honest conversations about leveraging this moment into long-term growth. The labor negotiations are part of that conversation. Players are demanding higher salaries, better travel conditions, improved maternity benefits, and a larger revenue share. Those are legitimate demands backed by the fact that league revenue is growing. But that revenue is growing largely because of one player's impact on television ratings and attendance. So how do you structure a deal that compensates all players fairly, while acknowledging that market value isn't distributed equally? The expansion plans are part of that conversation too. The WNBA is adding teams in San Francisco and Toronto, with more cities being considered. Those expansion teams will draft players from existing rosters. Will fans in those new markets show up if Caitlin Clark isn't on the schedule? Will they buy jerseys and merchandise for players they've never heard of? Or does the league need to ensure every market gets at least some high-profile games featuring the players who actually drive ticket sales? The media rights negotiations are part of this conversation. The current television deal expires after the 2025 season. The WNBA is negotiating new contracts with networks. The numbers being discussed are significantly higher than the previous deal, but those networks are betting on continued viewer growth. If Caitlin Clark gets injured or if fan interest declines for any reason, suddenly those projections look much less certain. The league needs to demonstrate it can maintain audience engagement beyond one player's individual appeal. So when you see an $85 trading card collection disappear in hours, you're not just seeing market demand for sports memorabilia. You're seeing evidence of where the WNBA stands at the end of. Caitlin Clark is the face of the league. Sophie Cunningham is right about that. Anyone arguing otherwise is ignoring objective reality. The question is whether the league can build something sustainable around that reality, or whether this moment becomes a cautionary tale about putting everything in one basket. The Panini collection will definitely be worth something 5 years from now. That's a safe prediction. Whether the WNBA as a whole is worth more 5 years from now depends on decisions being made right now during these labor negotiations, during these expansion discussions, during these media rights deals. And those decisions need to be grounded in honesty about what's actually driving the league's current success.